a very warm welcome to the beautiful medieval city of Basel in Switzerland, the host city for the 25th edition of the Total BWF World Championships. After 6 previous days of competition, we're now down to the last 2 in each of the 5 disciplines, the day that separates and defines the gold and silver medalists. Because today is finals day, and there's been a real buzz around St Jakobshalle this morning as the fans made their way to this magnificent venue. A week ago, over 350 of the best badminton players on the planet travelled from all corners of the globe with their own personal hopes and dreams for this, the most important and prestigious individual tournament of the year. Today is the day when some of those dreams will actually become reality. The day when 5 players or pairs will earn the status as the best badminton players on the planet when crowned world champions. So we have all 5 finals for you this afternoon, and we're starting with women's doubles, and it's actually a repeat of last year's final. The defending champions Matsumoto and Nagahara up against the number 2 seeds Fukushima and Hirota, who are today contesting a 3rd consecutive final, but they're still looking for the elusive gold medal. After that, it's women's singles, and it's actually a repeat of the final from 2 years ago in Glasgow. And what a classic match that turned out to be. The former world champion Nozomi Okuhara up against Pusala Venkata Sindhu. Will it be 3rd time lucky for the Indian player? Because after appearing in 3 finals, she too is looking for a 1st gold. Then it's men's singles, and the defending champion Kento Momota, the left-handed Japanese star, up against Anders Antonsson, trying to become only the 4th Dane ever to win the men's singles gold. Then it's mixed doubles, and the defending champions Sheng Shiwei and Wang Yaxiong up against surprise finalists Pua Varanukroh and Thayrat Thanachai, making history today as the first pair from Thailand to contest any doubles final at a world championship. Then we finish with men's doubles, and the 2-time former champions Mohamed Hassan and Hendra Setiawan in their 3rd final at world championships as a pair. They're up against the number 12 seeds Hoki and Kobayashi, trying to become the first pair from Japan to win gold in the men's doubles discipline. So what a terrific lineup we've got. And with women's doubles being our first final of the day, a chance for us to look at the draw from the quarter-final stage. 4 Japanese pairs. But the real interesting thing was that 7 of the 8 pairs in the quarter-final had actually medalled at previous World Championships, the only exceptions being the number 7 seeds, Du Yue and Li Yunwei, who came through a marathon match against the reigning Olympic champions. 2 hours and 6 minutes for that quarter-final. But as you can see, it is an all-Japanese affair for today's final, a repeat of last year's final in Nanjing. So as far as the 2 pairs are concerned, when we look at their career win-loss record, I can tell you that Matsumoto and Nagahara have won 6 titles from 16 tournaments that they've reached. As far as Fukushima and Hirota, they've won 15 titles, having been in 22 career finals. 3 of their titles actually came earlier this year. But here are the defending champions, Mayu Matsumoto and Wakana Nagahara, the number 1 seeds. When they won gold a year ago, they were only seeded 11. They won only a 2nd gold medal for Japan in the women's doubles discipline a year ago, and they won the world title before they'd even won a Grand Prix Gold event or Super Series event or even World Tour event. It was a huge surprise. Well, for Yuki Fukushima and Sayaka Hirota, a 3rd world championship, a 3rd consecutive final. To most players, they would be delighted with that. But I can tell you, for Fukushima and Hirota, this is the one they so desperately want to win. Will it be 3rd time lucky? And will they, in their third final, finally win the gold medal that they yearn for? Well, I can tell you this will be the 9th meeting between these two pairs, and honours are shared, 4 wins apiece.
Black side, red side for you, okay.
So the first duty, the toss of the coin.
Who will receive?
And the defending champions, once again, have won the toss and have chosen to receive, which means that Fukushima and Hirota get to choose both ends and to serve first. Well, it may be 4-all in the head-to-heads, but I can tell you that the reigning world champions have won the last 2 encounters. You saw the one at the semi-final stage of the Badminton Asia Championships. But we look, first of all, at MATSUMOTO, very tall athlete, turned 24 earlier this month. That's a 5'10", born on the northernmost of the main 4 islands, the island of Hokkaido, as indeed was her partner, who is a year younger at the age of 23. And I can tell you that they're enjoying their second spell as world number ones, so their 16th week in total. Well, when we look at their matches so far, they had a bye in the first round, second round against the European Games gold medalists, a third round against number 16 seeds Frugo and Tuason. Very close match there, as you can see, 19 and 19. Quarter-final against the number 8 seeds, their teammates, bronze medalists from a year ago, and tragically, Yonimoto injured her ankle and had to retire from that. Semi-final, as with last year, against Poli and Rahayu, so 2 bronze medals for the Indonesian pair. So to their opponents, the former world number ones, but currently number 3 on the world ranking, Yuki Fukushima, 26 years of age, born in Yatsushiro City in Kumamoto Prefecture. They did spend 41 weeks in total as world number ones across 3 different spells, as we look at Sayaka Hirota, who turned 25 on the 1st of August, so earlier this month. 3rd consecutive World Championships. They've won 3 medals, 3 silver medals. And when we look at their path through to today's final, a bye in the first round, and then beat Bolotova and Davletova of Russia. Number 12 seeds from China in the 3rd round. Quarter-final against the 2014 bronze medalists. That went the full distance, 1 hour and 25 minutes, against Li So-hee and Shin Sung-chan. And in the semi-final yesterday, beat the number 7 seeds, Du Yue and Li Yunhui. So apart from that quarter-final, all of their matches in straight games. Christoph Osbold of Germany, our umpire for this one, and Sudip Bave of India. So the umpire and service judge, they always have them as neutrals. And just before the match gets underway, delighted to say that former world number 1, twice world championship silver medalist, Morten Frost is sitting alongside me.
Yeah, we're going to have a wonderful day. What a lineup we have.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And on my left, Yuki Fukushima, Sayaka Hirota, Japan. Yuki Fukushima to serve to Mayu Matsumoto. Level. Play.
So the 2-time silver medalists nearest to us, Yuki Fukushima and Sayaka Hirota, against last year's champions, Matsumoto and Nagahara.
Service over.
Well, the encouraging thing for the 2-time silver medalists is that no women's doubles pair has ever lost 3 finals at the World Championships. There is one player who has lost 3 finals, and that was Wei Li, who lost 3 finals playing with 3 different partners. That was an extraordinary record. Well, Morten, you know the agony of being so close, losing 2 consecutive World Championship finals. Well, I know you didn't get a chance in another final, that was your 2, but for this pair, I mean, how do they approach it after such disappointment? A year ago, they actually had match point opportunities.
I think it's just, in all honesty, another day in the office. They really just have to pull it together, and I think they're standing a fair chance of winning this one today. Of course, it's very close, but I think they have been very consistent lately, and I think they can do well. I really think they can. I don't know. There's a sting in the tail in this as well, because as we all know, Japan is having 3 pairs, number 1, 2 and 3 in the world ranking, but only 2 can qualify for the Olympics.
Yeah.
So this match really means a lot.
Yeah.
Who can perform at the highest level?
And they'll take that into account perhaps when they choose the 2 of the 3 pairs, not necessarily just the 2 highest ranked pairs when it comes to Tokyo next year.
Knowing how Park Ju-bong works, I think they will take the top 2 whatever.
Okay.
That's just a feeling.
2, 3.
I don't think they will take into account who will be able to perform the best. I think it's so close anyway that he will go for whoever is 1 and 2.
I think we might see quite a few of these long rallies. Oh, well played from Hirota. I suppose the other thing we need to take into account, we saw that Matsumoto and Nagahara won all of their matches in 2 straight games, whereas Fukushima and Hirota taken the full distance once, and that match where they were taking the full distance, 1 hour and 25 minutes, is how much longer they have been on court, 1 hour and 25 minutes longer than the reigning world champions. But they are fit, all these Japanese women's doubles pairs. Do you think that's going to be a factor?
No, I don't. I think you gave the answer yourself. They are extremely fit and they're very used to playing these long, grueling matches. So just having played 1 match the full distance in a tournament is not going to faze them.
No, even though they've been on court 1 hour and 25 minutes longer than their opponents. It's not going to be a problem. No, okay. Well judged. Oh, line judge was unsighted.
We have
so Hawkeye will adjudicate for us, but neither pair will lose a challenge because it is the umpire just getting help from Hawkeye when the line judge was unsighted. The player was between the line judge and the shuttle falling. I saw that as out.
I saw that out too, but let's see.
Here we go. What does Hawkeye say?
No,
Hawkeye says it was in.
From now on, Jill, I'm just going to say the opposite of you.
You're getting as bad as Steen. I've taken some real stick from him this week.
Honestly, really, for me, it looked long here from where we're sitting.
Yeah, it certainly did. Looked long on the replay too.
Oh, that's good counter-attacking shot by Hirota there. That could have been devastating for Nakahara, but luckily for Nakahara, that one was going out on the sideline. But what a good defensive shot there by Hirota. And I think that's one of the issues with Fukushima and Hirota, is that very often when they're not playing well, I feel that Fukushima is probably trying too much and Hirota is trying too little. And they have to sort of gel and get that balance right.
Yeah.
And I think that's much the key to success for this pair.
Yeah. Attack and more attack from Fukushima and Hirota.
5-6.
Well, I did notice yesterday that Wakana Nagahara was really struggling at times with her low serve. We'll keep an eye on that. And it's just long. Another attempted counter-attack there.
7-5. So it's over. 6-7.
Oh, my goodness, complete miss hit from Hirota.
So it's over. 8-6.
Yeah, uses the flick because she doesn't have confidence in the low serve, Nagahara. But that was well put away.
But as long as the flick serve is played with a purpose, not just a high serve, but, you know, you try to place it and with proper pace as well, then I actually think I would prefer that they flick a lot more. And we can go into that a little bit later.
Okay.
And it's not only this pair, it's all women's doubles pairs.
Oh, brilliant. She's wonderful racket skills at the front of the court. MATSUMOTO.
10-6. Thank you. Players.
Yeah, found the gap well. Good awareness.
Can't be faulted for not trying.
No. Heavy strapping on that right quad muscle, or maybe it's a hamstring, from Yuki Fukushima. Oh, to believe it. What defense. Yeah, well worked.
But good to see that Hirota is more decisive at the net here. She missed the first one. It was a very fine save by Nagahara as we saw it. But she is then intercepting here on the last one, and nice to see that she's more decisive. Very often she's playing it a little bit too soft. And if you look at the other pair, having Mayu Matsumoto at the front, who is very decisive on her good days. On her good days,
yeah,
she is very, very strong at the front.
Yeah. So it's a 4-point advantage for the defending champions. And they're actually trying to become the 6th women's doubles pair to retain the women's doubles title. In other words, win 2 consecutive. The other pairs who have done it, Lin Ying and Guang Weizhen, Gefei and Gu Jun, Gao Ling and Huang Sui, Wang Xiaoli and Yu Yang, and Tiang Qing and Zhao Yunlei. But there is 2 players who have won 3 consecutive titles, but with different partners. Do you know those, Morten?
Oh, Zhao Yunlei.
No.
It's a good try.
Obviously, it's 2 of the players I've already mentioned.
Yes.
Guang Weizhen with Lin Ying, and then with
Gao Ling.
No, Nong Huanhua and Yu Yang. First with Du Jing, and then 2 with Wang Xiaoli. 3 consecutive titles.
I was way off on that one.
You weren't going back far enough. Oh, well left,
Yeah,
well left.
Good spacious awareness there by Matsumoto.
12.
The distinction, this pair on the far side of the courts, first players along with Kento Momota to contest all 3 Super 1000 events. They've been consistent since they won the World Championship.
13-7.
This really is very dominant in this opening game by last year's winners.
Yeah, they played well. They played a good opening game so far. Not making many mistakes. And this is where they're good. They're counter-attacking really well. And that's the difference between the 2 pairs at the moment. As and when the chance arises, the opportunity is there, then the kill is there, as what we saw Nakahara doing here. Very nice follow-up.
Oh, yes.
Again, a similar situation. This time Matsumoto doing the counter-attacking shot, the straight defensive shot, setting up the attack. 2 smashes from Matsumoto, and then finish here by Nakahara. But once again, very decisive as and when they go in attack.
Eight of the last 10 points. In fact, it's 8 of the last 9 points. But the run comes to an end.
8-15.
Oh, it's great placement of the smash from Matsumoto.
Yeah, she's got the power from the back. Definitely the one of the four hitting the hardest.
Yeah, big high lift to give her partner time.
Exactly. That was good awareness.
Missed it.
So it's over.
Just looks to me, Morten, as if the reigning world champions are prepared to be far more, I was going to say adventurous, but I think creative is a better word. In their style of play, they're willing to attack, they're willing to take half chances, stepping into the defence, looking for angles.
That one there.
Yeah. Whereas their opponents just play a very solid game. There's not really anything that you can say this is a weakness. But in a match like this, how are they going to start winning their points? Fukushima and Hirota.
I agree with you. I absolutely concur.
Yeah.
That is the problem for Fukushima and Hirota, is that it's probably a little bit too steady, if you can say that. They are not creative enough, and especially here in the opening game so far, the opponents, the reigning world champions, have been far more creative and far more decisive as and when they go in the attack. Look at that.
Yeah.
And that's the whole difference. They are able to put their chances away where Fukushima and Hirota cannot do it.
10.
Simply because they don't commit enough at the net?
Possibly, and I think that the simple power of the shots is greater from the pair in red. On top of that, I feel that Nagahara has lifted her game as well. I think she's a little bit stronger than what she was a year ago, and as over the last 12 months, I think she has improved.
And do you think that's come about because she's now playing mixed?
Could be.
Yeah.
Definitely could be. It can be a good investment.
Yes. Well, of course, Olympic champion Mizaki Matsumoto, she started playing mixed doubles in an effort to try and get better at the front court area. And my goodness, didn't that work? Olympic gold medalist.
Once again, we see how decisive it is when Matsumoto and Nagahara goes into the attack.
Game point opportunities already. We're only 19 minutes into the match.
Quite unusual in women's doubles at this level.
So it's over. 11-20.
Is out.
Opening game, 21-11 in favour of the defending champions, Mayu Matsumoto and Wakana Nagahara. Well, they thoroughly deserved that opening game. This, the final rally. What on earth she was thinking about there? She obviously changed her mind. FUKUSHIMA.
And while there's no coaching on the court, and of course then no coaches to listen to, I think I'd like to explain about that flick serve.
Yes, please do, Morten.
I think unless you serve a really, really solid low serve that's dipping below the tape, then chances are that the pressure on the return is too great for one person to cover the full court. Means that you will get into a defensive situation.
Yeah.
However, if you flick it, yes, you are giving the initiative away from that flick serve. However, it's much, much easier to counter-attack from a situation like that, especially if it's a good flick serve, that's a good pressure flick serve, which means that the attack might be a little bit flat. And that's when you can go in and counter-attack, and you only cover half court each.
Yeah, exactly, because you've got the two players covering half of the court, whereas if one player has served, they're basically stuck at the net, a low serve, and then her partner must cover both sides at the back. Full
court at the back.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's a very interesting point, and I can't disagree with you, Morten.
So, and I think there are lots and lots of good counter-attacking opportunities in that kind of strategy as well.
Yeah.
Players.
Interesting. So really, it was all one-way traffic in that opening game, all in favour of Mayu Matsumoto and Wakana Nagahara. So, Morten, in your opinion, what do you think that Fukushima and Hirota, oh, goodness me, taking the knee bandage off?
Yeah, it's no trouble.
No. They've got to somehow take away the net area from their opponents, but the question is, how do they do that?
Flick serving. That's one opportunity.
Yeah.
Start flick serving and get them away. Look at that. Look at how much pressure Fukushima is in as and when she's got to retrieve that return of serve.
Yeah.
Look at how much pressure she's on that backhand side. And then, of course, she got the first one, but the second one she's not getting back.
Yeah.
So start flicking some more, and going into a counter-attacking mode could possibly be a good idea. That will also give them an opportunity to push forward and take control of the net. And then, of course, have to be more decisive at the net as and when they're intercepting. And that one should have been killed. That serve was really not good, and Hirota should have put that one away.
Yeah. Fukushima backing off, expecting the lift. And there was a big gap there, wasn't there?
Yeah, well spotted by Nakahara. And it's interesting to watch Matsumoto, because she's got what I call a little bit of a lazy racket. You know, it's hanging quite low, and it looks like she's not prepared for the shot, but somehow she's always getting the racket to it. But it looks a little bit like a lazy racket to me.
Mm.
But
I know what you mean, but I think she's the one that's particularly creative off her defensive play and very, very decisive at the front of the court.
Totally agree. And I think one of the reasons why she's doing it is because her defensive stance is a little bit forward. even when she's standing on the straight smash. Try to look at that.
Yeah.
She's even standing further up the court than her partner, who is standing cross court.
There was a counteract. That was a good shot.
3-2.
Simply haven't done enough of that so far.
And that's a fine example of a creative attack from Nakahara here. Going cross-court and totally surprising Fukushima.
Service over. 4-3.
Is that the first service error of the match? I think it is.
Could be. Not entirely sure.
Haven't had a challenge yet either. We had Hawkeye intervention, but that was called by the umpire.
That's out.
Wide.
Yeah.
Five, 3. Service over. 4-5.
Everything's going down the middle, isn't it?
It is.
On the attack.
And that's again where we talk about creative attacks and so on. It's very, very easy to read. It's very safe, steady and all that, but it doesn't create many chances. But good interception here by Fukushima at the net.
Yeah, the flick swerve you were talking about.
And a good counter-attacking shot.
Yeah.
That gave the attack.
Seven, 4.
And here we have exactly the opposite. Very nice return of serve by Nakahara into the deep forehand corner of Hirota, who was not able to get out of trouble after that one. And that's the difference between the low serve and the flick serve.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it completely, Morten. Oh, that's landed in. She deliberately got out of the way when she'd been in a good position to play it. And that could be costly.
Service over. 8-6.
But more mistakes are creeping in with Matsumoto and Nakahara, and maybe Fukushima and Hirota can capitalize on it.
7-8.
Oh, what a lucky net cord.
9-7.
And while we were watching the slow motion pictures here, really good pictures, it was interesting to see that Nakahara was testing her serve, her low serve, and that's a very clear sign of you're not confident on your serve.
Okay. Play.
Oh, what a serve. That's terrific.
And again, that serve is so much underrated since the change of service rule, the 115 centimeters. It has opened up for services like that a lot more, and it's still not used a lot.
To the mid-game interval. Exact same scoreline, 11-7 in the second game. But here in the second, the advantage is with Yuki Fukushima and Sayaka Hirota.
Again, on the serve, on that flat flick serve, I think I would like to quote our good colleague, Steen Peterson, because he said to me one day, it would translate sort of into tennis that some players are still playing underarm serving when it is allowed to do overhead serving.
Yeah.
Now, when the new rule is in, the 115 rule, it has opened up for much flatter services, and only a few players have started to use it, but I think it will come more and more.
I agree. You better ask Nick Kyrgios, though, about that underarm serve. Yeah, didn't amuse Rafa Nadal in Wimbledon this year.
11-7. Play.
So the 4-point advantage for the number 2 seeds Fukushima and Hirota. Yeah, that's more decisive.
Exactly. Putting much more power into it from Hirota this time. But nice placement by Fukushima.
Yeah, it was good pace to that rally.
Yeah, good play by Nagahara. She was the one that worked very hard in that combination. She almost hit 75–80% of the shots. Oh, look at that. That is good.
It's a moment of magic.
The ability to get that one cross court is fantastic. It's one of the most difficult shots to play.
Yeah, got it cross court and found the line. Wonderful. even when Fukushima and Hirota are on the attack, which they were at the beginning of that rally, they don't seem to be able to involve the front court player. Is it that they're not smashing in the right place, or it's just not powerful enough, whereas their opponents, a couple of downward shots and then there's an interception at the front court player?
The attack from the back from Nakahara and Matsumoto is far more decisive. It's far more creative, powerful angles, unpredictable.
Yeah.
Where I have to say that Fukushima and Hirota, their attack is very basic, it's safe, it's steady, but it lacks all this creativity.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why they can't get the front player in to intercept at the front.
Goes down as another service error.
11-13.
There was 3 smashes in the center.
Yeah.
Service over. 14-11.
But steadiness is a good thing. And it's definitely given Fukushima and Hirota the lead here in the second game.
Gone wide.
Service over. 12-14.
But it was a wonderful counter-attacking shot there by Fukushima.
Service over. 15-12.
Longest rally so far.
Players, back on court.
Yeah, umpire urging them to get back on court. I know it was a long ball rally. But fitness is part of the test of badminton.
13-15.
But that was a good combination there by Hirota. Look at the smash going cross-court first, moving Nakahara to the side, which is then opening up the gap at the center.
Did well to get out of the way of that. Yeah. And she realises that.
17-13.
There was a bit of confusion there.
Yeah. I can't help but think, Morten, you know, when you look at both pairs' form so far this year, Fukushima and Hirota, 3 finals, 3 titles.
3 wins, yes.
Matsumoto and Nagahara, 4 finals, but only one
win.
title.
Yeah, 1 win.
And I'm just wondering about the psychology of playing in a final and getting used to winning. When you get in the winning habit, that's very important as well.
It is. Agree with you on that. And I think the game has changed somewhat from the first game, because Matsumoto and Nakahara is not as successful as they were in the first and opening game with their attacks.
Yeah.
They have to work a lot harder now than they did in the first game to play the winners. And I think that's a definite change from the first game to the second game.
Yeah.
Fukushima and Hirota much more solid in their defense and also driving a lot more counter-attacking shots in the defense. And that is taking the front player a little bit out of the equation as well.
Yeah.
So there are some changes in the tactics and how this whole game is evolving.
Right. Yuki.
Four points adrift. Good work from Fukushima. And 2 points away from taking this second game.
15.
Yeah, it was good placement, wasn't it?
Yeah.
On the forehand side of Matsumoto. Down the line. Good placement.
Oh, it's another service error from Sayaka Hirota.
19.
A second. Yeah, it's clearly short.
Matsumoto definitely not in doubt.
Service over. 20, game point, 16.
4 game point opportunities in this women's doubles final at 1 game apiece.
Service over.
First game point well saved.
17, 20.
Three down the middle. 4 down the middle.
One more.
Oh, nice defense from Fukushima. Two game points well saved.
Jill, you have to help me here. Remind me, last year's final.
Yeah.
Of course, we know that Matsumoto and Nagahara, they won 22-20 in the final game.
Yeah.
Am I mistaken if I think that Fukushima and HIROTA, they were up in that third game and having some match points as well?
They were 18-13 up, 20-18 up, 2 match point opportunities.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sort of rings a bell now when I'm watching it again here.
Oh, missed opportunity. And 3 of the game points have come and gone.
It rings a bell, doesn't it?
But the point is it Fukushima and HIROTA that are also having flashbacks to that final a year ago?
Yep, we will never know.
Last game point opportunity. Until, of course, we go to extra points. All 4 game points have been saved. Some, I have to admit, have been squandered by Fukushima and HIROTA. So 20 all and extra points required until there's a clear 2-point winning margin. My goodness me, the nerves will be jangling with Fukushima and HIROTA. Fifth game point opportunity to send this the full distance.
20.
Clash of rackets. This time they convert. It is 1 game all. (22-20). Yuki Fukushima and Sayaka HIROTA finally convert on a 5th game point opportunity. My goodness me, you could visibly see the nerves of the number 2 seeds. 51 minutes into the match, and it's 1 game all. That's the final rally of the second game. Morton, this is the 15th same nation final in women's doubles. Second time 2 Japanese pairs in the final. And the other 13 times, all Chinese players in finals. 13 all Chinese women's doubles finals. But having had China dominate for so many years, especially in these World Championships, do you think that the tide has turned? Do you think it is now an era of dominance for Japanese pairs?
If you look at purely at the world ranking, I think they have 5 pairs in the top 10, Japan.
Yeah.
So you can say yes, they also have younger pairs coming up behind the top 3 pairs they have now. Even some of the top 3 pairs are not that old. They can go on for a long time. I do think, though, that Korea and China in the women's doubles are kind of coming back and putting a lot more pressure now on Japan. So we have a very intriguing fight between the 3 nations, China, Japan and Korea.
Yeah, interesting. And I agree with that, actually. But I mean, everybody sees that Japanese players, I mean, we've got not the scenario right now because the world champions have now become the world number 1s as well, but for a long time we had 3 separate pairs. 1 pair was Olympic champions from Japan, 1 pair was world champions, and 1 pair were world number 1s.
Yes.
3 different pairs to have that status.
But the pressure's on.
Yeah.
The pressure is on.
Yeah.
And I think especially Korea is coming very, very strongly.
Yeah, which is good. Oh, that's delightful.
So it's over. 1 love.
Would I be right to assume the start of this deciding game could be crucial?
Yeah, I actually feel that it's always crucial at the beginnings of the games. Who's getting first to the mid-game interval?
Yeah.
Very, very often wins. I remember when Trevor Harris and we commentated in Thailand. I did a small statistics on it, and I think out of the 13 games, and the 13 games won, 10 of them had the lead at the mid-game interval.
Right, yeah.
So it means a lot to get to the mid-game interval first.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of psychology in it.
So it's over. 3-2.
I don't see Fukushima and Hirota winning the net battle when they're both there. I think they have to get to the net first, and Matsumoto and Nagahara, both in the mid-court area, in the defensive stance.
Yes. That's awesome play. That's nice play. Not something that we very often see from Fukushima and Hirota, but that was very neatly constructed. This was the winning shot, but the two shots previous to that one was equally good.
Oh, yes, stepped into that, Nagahara.
4-3.
Rally. Oh, that's well judged. Clearly long of the back line. Longest rally so far in this deciding game.
Service over. Five, 4.
Yeah, that was much better from Hirota, really hunting the shuttle at the front of the net.
Five, all.
Little variation on the serve there.
I'm so happy you noticed that, because I so agree.
Yeah.
It was not served towards the tee, but more to the center of the service area.
Yeah. Into the lead for the first time in this deciding game. But not for long.
Service over. 6, all.
Missed it.
Service over. 7, 6.
It was the right side of Fukushima to smash at. She was very committed to her backhand defence. Too flat. It's gone long.
7, all.
Nicely done.
Not enough pressure from Matsumoto on that shot, and of course, completely open up the court. This one here, not enough pressure. Nakahara actually standing just behind her to cover the same shot, and of course then the court is too big.
Oh, it got deflected by the net cord.
8-all.
That's very well taken.
Nine, 8.
Gradually made her way forward on the defensive play, the drive, which allows her to follow forward, and it took 3 shots before she actually hit the winner.
Play.
Oh, that was going wide. Yeah, well worked. There was hesitation as well for Fukushima as to whether she should play that second last shot.
10-9.
That one. Maybe the hesitation was because it's quite far across towards her partner's side of the court. But her partner was way off balance. Oh, look at that. What a shot from Wakana Nagahara. Absolutely stepped into that. I think it came back steeper than it had been hit in the first place.
And this is an example of the fact that if your shots becomes a little bit too predictable, because she really stepped into it.
Yeah.
She knew that chances were that that one was coming down the center, and she really stepped into it.
Yeah. So a 2-point advantage for the defending champions. Change of ends in the third game.
20 seconds. Players.
Interesting thing, though, Morten, I was talking about head-to-heads before.
Yep.
9th meeting between these two pairs, 4-all.
Yes.
But since the World Championship final, it's actually 4-1 to the current world champions. Prior to that final, a year ago, they'd lost all 3 encounters.
But, in all fairness, we must say that it was a massive surprise last year when Matsumoto and Nakahara, they won it. As you rightly mentioned, they hardly had won any tournament prior to winning the World Championship last year. It was a massive surprise.
Only title prior to that
was Canada or something.
That's right. It also won the Thailand International Series event, which is lower than the Grand Prix. And the Grand Prix lower than the Grand Prix Gold.
Yes.
It was way down there.
Which is
tournaments.
lower than Super 100.
Yeah.
As we know it off today.
She can't be blocking on that defence, given what you were saying earlier about the flick serve. It was a good flick serve. She's in a good position on her defence, HIROTA, and she tried to block. You can't afford to do that.
No,
that's when the drive defence.
The drive have to come in place here.
Yeah.
And that was good by Fukushima. One jump. And what a good smash it was. Good placement.
Overdone it. And the little skip up and down after she made the mistake, I think an indication that HIROTA is getting very nervous. Yeah. And the fact that she really didn't move to that at all, another indication perhaps of nerves. One senses the defending champions are on a bit of a roll at the moment.
15-11.
Yeah, they're back to their winning style of the opening game here. They are intercepting better, they are more aggressive, they're winning more as and when they are attacking and so on. Kind of back to the same ways as the first game.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Oh, that could be costly.
If you're a fan of Fukushima and HIROTA, it doesn't look good now. That's a very, very decisive gap.
Yeah. But let's not forget, there was an 18-13 advantage to Fukushima and HIROTA in the final a year ago in the deciding game, and they couldn't convert.
But when it comes to the psychology, I think that Matsumoto and Nakahara seems to be a little bit more steady.
Yeah.
But let's see. I'm kind of putting my neck out there.
12-16.
brilliant from Nagahara. She's been outstanding today.
She has played very well. And as I pointed out earlier, I felt that that journey of improvement started some 12 months ago.
Yeah. Service error.
13-17.
2 service errors apiece. Long and wide of the centre line.
2 for Hirota and 2 for Nakahara. Am I right on that?
Yes, you are. No, no. There was 1 from Matsumoto.
Okay.
This is such an important point.
Everyone is holding their breath.
Yeah. Fukushima is too static in the front of the court when she was at the net there. What a rally. Well, Morten, it's the 18-13 scoreline.
Yes, you got it.
18-13.
Somehow I just sense that Nakahara and Matsumoto is more steady when it comes to the mental side of the game. I really think it's very hard for them not to win this one. Fukushima and Hirota have to find something extraordinary now.
Yeah. Oh, the umpire's allowing them to take their time. Yeah, well worked. Yeah. Far more effective in their attacking play. Matsumoto and Nagahara.
So it's over.
Well, it really is now or never for Fukushima and Hirota, because otherwise they're going to have to settle for a 3rd consecutive silver medal. It's match point opportunities for last year's champions, MATSUMOTO and NAGAHARA. 5 match points to be precise. After an hour and 17 minutes. It's gone long.
Takes courage to leave one like that.
Yeah.
But it's all or nothing now. It's how to string another 4 points together. It's not going to be easy.
Match points have been well saved. Another 3 remain for the defending champions.
17-20.
And I think it was a clever move to change the shuttle by Matsumoto. I think that could be possibly in favour of the defending champions with a good attack. A new shuttle is slightly faster than an older one.
The nerves are jamming.
18-20.
It's gone long.
But how many smashes in the centre of the court? 5, 6?
Yeah. Four of the 5 match points have come and gone. Just one more remains for the defending champions until we go to extra points. It's 20 all. Would you believe it?
Fukushima have served extremely well on the low serve on these 4 occasions.
I totally agree. But it's almost exactly the same pattern as last year in the final.
Just in the reverse.
Just in the reverse, a mirror image. 20 all. Extra points required until there's a clear 2-point winning margin.
Oh, another fantastic good serve. Good drive there by HIROTA.
This is extraordinary. Having saved 5 match points, now Fukushima and HIROTA a match point opportunity themselves. Well, if they convert, this will go down as one of the most remarkable comebacks in World Championship history. Wonderful. For NAGAHARA, still able to smile with such tension, such drama.
She was admiring her partner's fighting spirit, trying to go for that one. But my, oh my, tension is on, isn't it?
So, a first match point opportunity for Fukushima and HIROTA. Good serve again. Oh, and the lucky net cords. 21 all.
We're talking millimeters here.
Who's got the nerve? Who's got the character?
Well played by Nakahara.
Brilliant. Just inside the line from MATSUMOTO.
Nakahara made the difference in that rally. She took control of the net at the right time for Nakahara and Matsumoto.
So now it's a 6th match point opportunity for the defending champions. Everything down the middle.
She doesn't dare to do anything else but the middle.
They've done it. They have become the 6th women's doubles pair in the history of the World Championships to win 2 consecutive titles. Heartache once more for a 3rd consecutive year for Yuki Fukushima and Sayaka Hirota. 3rd time that they have to settle for a silver medal. But what a climax to this women's doubles final. It all looked as if the defending champions were going to win quite comfortably in the deciding game when they led 2015. They had to save a match point at 2021, but came through on their 6th match point opportunity. My goodness me, what a thrilling match to get us underway on finals day here at the Total BWF World Championships. 23-21, the deciding game in an hour and 25 minutes.
That was a tough and very close match. So we have 2 questions to you. And what do you think was the difference against your opponents that you win this match?
まずは優勝おめでとうございます。で、相手選手と違って何が原因として勝てたと思いますか？
今日は攻めの段階で自分たちのペースを崩さずにいけたので、そこが勝因かなと思います。
So today they went really strongly to attack the opponent and didn't lose their rhythm. So that's one of the reasons why they could defeat.
Great. And you're the defeating champion. What does it mean to win this title again from last year?
ディフェンディングチャンピオンとしてもう一度このタイトルを取れてどのような気持ちですか？お願いします。
まさか 2連覇できると思ってなかったので、本当に嬉しい気持ちでいっぱいです。
Well, they didn't thought that they could win a second time, so they're really happy right now.
Congratulations again to the old and new world champion,
no wonder they are
MATSUMOTO,
very happy right now.
And
Their second
NAGAHARA.
title of the year, a second world championship title in as many years. I remember a year ago it was the biggest surprise, I think, of all finals, when as the number 11 seeds they beat the number 2 seeds Fukushima and HIROTA in 3 thrilling games. Well, they've done the same again this year, and they become the first number 1 seeds for 6 years to win the women's doubles gold medal. This is how they did it, the match point opportunity that they converted. The first they converted on their 6th opportunity. Yeah, look how deep Fukushima is in her defensive stance. There was no way she could get to that drop shot. That was something that Morten had pointed out earlier on, that they were too deep in their defence and they needed to stand their ground, as indeed this pair. And because they stood their ground, they were able to play the drive defence and counteract their opponent's attacking play. That was a beauty, though. It really was. And a second consecutive title for Mayu Matsumoto and Wakana Nagahara. So, Morten, as we prepare for the medal ceremony, of course, last year there was 3 Japanese pairs that medalled at the World Championships. Only 2 this year. But I'm wondering, with the Olympic champions losing, as we see confirmation of that scoreline, 21-11, 20-22, 23-21 in the deciding game. I'm wondering, having watched that final today, whether the reigning Olympic champions of Matsumoto and Takahashi, I'm not going to say are they a spent force, but them losing in the quarter-final has not helped their quest to even get selected for Tokyo, to then be in a position to try and defend their Olympic title.
Now, I know it's very hypothetical at the moment, of course, but I see signs of Matsumoto and Takahashi that they might not make it to defend the title in 2020 in Tokyo. I think that Takahashi is not playing to the same standard as what she used to, and she is, it's wrong to say, there's still 2 in the world, but she's becoming a little bit of a liability to the partnership, as it looks at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I think we're just about ready for the medal ceremony. Still, just 4 different nations have won the World Championship women's doubles title. 20 titles and 13 different pairs from China. 3 gold medals now, 2 Japanese players. 1 world title to Korea. And of course in 1980 it was the England partnership of Nora Perry and Jane Webster.
Please welcome the medalists.
So all 4 medalists make their way into the stadium.
from Indonesia, Gracia Poli and Apriani Rahayu.
Gracia Poli and Apriani Rahayu, second consecutive World Championship that they have won a bronze medal. For Gracia Poli, she takes a third medal at World Championships to add to the one that she won in Jakarta in 2015, playing with Nitya Krishinda Maheswari. Mr. Thomas Bach, President of the International Olympic Committee, awards the medals.
And from China,
when you consider that Indonesia have only won 6 medals in women's doubles at World Championships, Gracia Poli has won 50% of those medals herself. Du Yue and Lee Hyun Wei, well, it's a second World Championship medal for the lady getting her medal right now, because a year ago she was a bronze medalist in the mixed doubles with Zhang Nan. The first medal, so for her partner, Du Yue.
Silver medal from Japan.
And they will be remembered as the pair who put out the Olympic champions. What a match that was. For a third consecutive World Championships, Yuki Fukushima and Sayaka Hirota receive the silver medal. Silver in Glasgow when they lost out to Chen Qingcheng and Jia Yifan. A year ago, they lost out to their opponents of today. First ever women's doubles pair to be beaten in 3 World Championship finals. Yeah, bravely trying to muster a smile, Yuki Fukushima.
Gold medal and world champion, Mayu Matsumoto and Wakana Nagahara.
Champions for a second straight year, the number 1 seeds Mayu Matsumoto and Wakana Nagahara. Only the 6th women's doubles pair in the history of the World Championships to win back-to-back women's doubles titles. Well, having failed to convert on their first 5 match point opportunities, for them to come back and win shows enormous character.
Asia, Pacific and Middle East is presenting the Total Trophy to the winners.
So the trophies, as well as the medals, and the players will each get a mascot as well. I suspect most people will struggle now after that wonderful final to determine the best women's doubles match of the tournament. Was it the quarter-final when Du Yue and Lee Yun Wei beat the Olympic champions, or was it actually today's final? Your view on that, Morten?
I think when perhaps Kim and Kong from Korea, they lost, I think that was a very, very good match as well.
Kim and Kong from Korea lost to the 2017 World Champions, Chen Qingcheng and Jia Yifan, in the 3rd round.
That was a very, very good match.
Champions once more. No wonder they smile.
President of the 2019 Badminton World Championship Organization Committee. And he will accompanied by Paul Eric Hoyer, President of the BWF.
So both Mr. Charles Keller, World Championship President for this particular World Championships, and the BWF President, Paul Eric Hoyer, former Olympic champion. And finally the mascots to the champions.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up for the national anthem of Japan.
Oh, I think they're moving a little too soon. We've got the national anthem.
Thank you very much. We would like to ask you now to invite the medalists and presenters for a group photo. Mr. Boff, please.
So after the women's doubles, we turn our attention to women's singles, and it's a repeat of the final from 2 years ago in Glasgow. If it's half as good as it was, then we are in for a treat.